Live from the Four Aces Studios, Four Aces Presents brings to you West Coast Bias.
The following Four Aces production is for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is highly advised.
Yo, yo, what's up? What's up, y'all? We are live here at Four Aces Studios, that virtual place that exists only in the airspace. I am Double K, and I am here with the Doual, and we are here live on What's Happening, player? And we are here live on West Coast Bias. Maybe to be joined later by O'Malley. We don't know yet. We're waiting to see. But Doual, let's kick it off with right in your wheelhouse. Let's kick it off with a little NBA playoffs. Now that we are down to the conference finals, and since after game one, we'll talk about it a little bit later. It looks like the Lakers are pretty much a lock for the finals this year, unless Denver pulls some magic. But we'll get to them in a minute. Let's look at this Eastern Conference Finals right quick, because I'll tell you this. If you'd have asked me at the beginning of the year who was going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals, I might have told you that I wanted the Celtics there, but I wouldn't have put that prediction on it, and I for damn sure wouldn't have told you the Heat was going to be there.
Yeah.
So those two are wow, and they're putting on a show over there with the Heat leading 2-1 right now.
Honestly, I keep it real with you. I'd have predicted the Celtics. Like I said, they're the best team in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
And Milwaukee's a contender. But you look at how that Celtic team is constructed, that it's built, talent-wise, coaching-wise, they are the best team in the Eastern Conference. So I'm not surprised by them being here.
Do you consider it a coincidence, the fact that Miami wins or Boston wins their first game of the series right as they get back Gordon Hayward?
No, because they needed another weapon, someone else that can, give them just another look, take a little pressure off Tatum, and take a little pressure off Jaylen Brown. Marcus Smart was already doing that, and making the game easy for them. So Gordon Hayward comes in and gives them a guy that, gives them just another look, just another weapon, basically. And then not only that, they made the adjustments that they needed to make. Like, this isn't ordinary playoff basketball. You got to keep in mind, this is bubble basketball. So home court advantage really isn't home court advantage.
Right.
So, just like we see in the last series, we saw, what was it? Boston went up 3-1, was it? They won the first two on Toronto's supposed home floor. And anything just happened. Miami went in there and won 2 games on Boston. Supposed home floor. Home team hasn't won a game yet this year. So that's not just regular. That's bubble playoff basketball. So, Boston, again, like I said, they're a special team. But that team is really good at exiting those, breaking down film and making adjustments. And they made the proper adjustments they needed to make and played 4 quarters to make it an exciting series. So yeah, I'm not surprised by nothing.
Now, there were people, and I would call them overreactors, that were calling for Brad Stevens' head and calling them overrated for when they lost the second game and was like, this series is over.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, I
yeah,
think Brad Stevens is an X's and O's type guy, but I think one of the major things
yeah.
that Brad Stevens has always been known for, to me at least, and what scared me the year that I told people out of the Eastern Conference that one of those 2 years that we had Kevin Durant, that the Warriors had Kevin Durant, I said Boston scares me more than anybody else, and it's because of Brad Stevens' ability to adjust. You may get
Yeah.
Boston down early, but Boston's going to make adjustments. Now, sometimes Brad Stevens has been a little bit slow on his adjustments, so unfortunately, he didn't adjust quick enough to be able to come back and win the series or gain a lead in the series. But you
Mhm.
will always see a Boston team performs better, especially if they get blown out the first game or two. The deeper into the series it goes, the better they perform.
Oh yeah, definitely,
You know,
definitely. And
uh,
you can't, and like you said, you can't overreact after one or two games because you don't know, what teams need to do, to get better. But
yep,
again, like you said, what he does is he does his X and O's and his breakdowns. And he knows how to make his adjustments well. So his problem is the one thing that helps him and hurts him. He is what you would call a player's coach. You know,
yeah,
so well, he I wouldn't say caters to his players. He's more receptive to their egos.
yeah.
Unlike a Popovich, you say he's the complete opposite. He
My
says
way or the
nothing about
highway,
your
pop.
ego,
Yeah,
who you are, none of that. Brad Stevens is he's gonna play to that ego a little more. He's gonna play there. You know what I'm saying? So that helps him. But when you got a team full of young egos that need to be managed, it can kind of hurt you because you're not doing the X's and O's, and instead of doing the X's and O's, you're doing more player management
yeah,
and coaching. So that's probably something that kind of hurt them. I heard it was some turmoil. They needed a team meeting at 3 a.m. and all that other kind of stuff. Okay, well now that they've done that and gotten that all out the way, they can get back to playing that Celtic basketball.
yeah.
It's frustration. They were close the first two games and they lost two close games. So it's a lot of frustration that goes into that, but they'll be all right.
Now, before we move on from this series, give me your thoughts on that Abadiah block. I believe it was game two.
Oh, that's
My boy's
what you
hand
call
was in the
sacrifice.
room. Was inside of the
Yeah,
cylinder, and
that's what you call sacrifice.
yeah,
I mean, think about it, man. He not only is it sacrifice, but that's an incredibly smart and incredibly athletic defensive play. He came from, you know, uh, the weak side, of a really good place. And he
yeah,
was in a perfect place. Let's start there. He was in a perfect place to begin with. We didn't have to make it all fun. When we got there, met him at the rim. He was just late enough to really, to get the result that he seen. Had he been there earlier, he was
yeah,
swinging back. Yeah, had he been there one step earlier, it would have been no contest. But the fact that he got there a step late gave you that result. And it was spectacular because, like you said, he had his hand bent back into the ring and brought it back. That was dope.
oh yeah. And I will remember it forever and a day. I don't know, like just because of the fact that his hand was in the cylinder, everybody was comparing it to the LeBron block, and I give LeBron credit all day for what he did. Like he blocked Iggy, he blocked the shit out of Iggy, and I also give you a reason. That I'm sorry, bro. As much as I love what LeBron and AD are doing right now, and I give credit where credit's due, just same way you did with the Warriors when they was on top. I give credit where credit's due. They out there dominating. Um, I don't think LA wants to see Miami though, because I think between Butler and Iguodala, they could cause LeBron some fits.
Yeah,
And I'm not saying they're gonna stop him,
definitely,
but they could cause him some fits.
definitely. They
Yo,
could. They're athletic. They're fast. They're quick. They have a almost a warrior constructed team.
Mm-hmm.
You got a point guard who's shifty, crafty, loves to dribble, create, for himself and others.
Mr.
You got
Project, yeah.
you got a two guard who's trying to shoot the lights out every time he puts the ball up. You got Jimmy, the guy who's carrying, both ends of the floor. Defensive five.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a model. And then you bring an Iggy off, a veteran six man that can hold the fort down and keep everything going smoothly. You got to keep you got to keep the real guy.
Yeah.
So I like
And,
that model. I like that. They're fast, they're efficient, they play hard, they play smart. They're done. They're done.
and I've always said that the pickup of Iggy by and the extension given to him by the Miami Heat was a lot bigger and more underrated than what people give it credit for. Like, I genuinely believe that that was a key piece that they needed. The same way the Warriors needed it. Because basically, I think they brought in Iggy and was like, look, obviously we got Jimmy, so you're not going to start. But we basically
Yeah,
want you to come in and do exactly what you did in Oakland.
yeah,
Want you to
basically, yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Come in off the bench, do your thing, give us 20 if we need it. If we don't, give us 10, 15, 5, and just give us a lot of effort on the defensive end. You know what I'm saying? And it's a perfect role for him. He's proven that before. Like I said, I just don't think that's. I think at the end of the year, if something positive happens with Miami, if they get to the finals, or even if they get to the finals and lose to LA, or they get to the finals and make it a 6-7 game series against LA, I think that but come out lost. I think that there's not going to be enough talk about exactly how huge it was adding Iggy when they did. So, all right. So, before we transition over to the Western Conference, Abdul, I'm going to give you your moment, sir, as we always do every now and then, to give your opinion about the way the MVP voting went and whether or not you, sir, agree with who ended up winning the NBA MVP. Hello, Dual?
Yeah, so I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
I mean, I'm not the type of guy to not players.
Yeah,
Unless it's constructive criticism. So I can't not, him winning the award. Um, I think honestly, it's probably the laziest vote in MVP history. And again, it's not a
okay.
knock. Okay, his work speaks for itself. You know, okay, he Bucks best team Eastern Conference, yeah. He won it last year, yeah. And he's doing the same thing this year that he did last year.
Right.
And there's kind of where my hold up is, right? He's doing the exact same thing this year that he did last year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this MVP award was stolen. Because when you look at the two bodies of work side by side, everyone is going to play, the analytics and, this way. Everyone's going to have a reason, to make their vote the right guy.
Yeah.
Well, here's my reason why they stole this from LeBron. First of all, again, like I said, Giannis is doing the exact same thing this year that he did last year.
Yeah.
Meaning, he did not get better. The jumper did not improve. It
I
did.
see what you're saying.
His ability to make teammates better, right?
Yeah.
Doing different things, handling the ball on the perimeter, handling the ball in the post, being a post player. I don't see no post work from him.
Yeah.
I see a 4 or 5 man, long and athletic, who's able to run the floor like a deer, and you don't really want to get in his way, so you get into the rim constantly, effectively.
Yeah.
Again, I don't see it making his teammates better.
Okay.
I don't see that making his team better. And then, when it came crunch time, And it came to show that a defense was devised to stop you. That brick
Mm,
wall defense, you know, shut down.
okay.
Now let's look at Bron's body of work. This is the man's what year in the league? 17, 15, 16, 17, something like that.
17th, yeah.
And let's 17. Let's start with led the league in assists. He led the league this year in assists. We're talking about a point guard dominated league, a league with the likes of Damian Lillard, Russell Westbrook, who averaged a triple double 2 years in a row, right? A James Harden who can create double teams and still get 6, 7, 8 assists a game. The likes of a point guard down there, he's led the league in points. I mean, in assists at over 10 a game, 10 points, 10-5, 10-6, something like that a game. Let's start there, right? He took a team that did not make the playoffs last year because if you want to say it, he got hurt and he was the linchpin making it all work. One injury, two injuries, three injuries. They mailed it in January. Did not make the playoffs. That team is number one in the Western Conference this year.
Yeah.
Number one
But was it that
in the
same team
Western
though?
Conference.
But was it that
Huh?
same team though? Because didn't the
It,
team go
it,
out and get
it,
better in the offseason? They got AD. They got rid of Lonzo Ball and
they
Brandon
did.
Ingram. So like
They
was
did.
that the exact same team that came back
It,
and made the Western Conference Finals, or was it a restock
it was
team
it,
that came
it,
back and
it,
won the
it was it,
Western Conference?
it's a better team. You're
Okay.
absolutely right.
Yeah.
And what did LeBron do with that better team?
Oh yeah. He did
Right?
what he should do.
He didn't
He
go finish.
dominated.
He didn't, and I'll give it to you. The Warriors weren't there,
Yeah.
okay, right? But you still had
I
good
don't hold that
Western.
against him though.
You,
That ain't his fault. That
you
ain't got
feel
nothing
me?
to do with him. Yeah.
You feel me? But the Western Conference powerhouse is still there,
Yeah.
right? You still had your San Antonio for when Dallas got better. You still had Portland came along. Who else? Who was dominating? Your Houston was good. OKC bounced back. All right, you know what I'm saying? It's a tougher conference. You had to win 50 games, 45 to 50 games to make the playoffs this year,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So as a team, not individual,
Yeah.
but from a team perspective,
Yeah.
first in the West. And if you want to compare records, at the time, basketball, the NBA regular season stopped before the bubble. They were one game behind Milwaukee
Yeah,
for the best record.
for the best record. No, yeah, this has been a dominant Lakers team, which is why I was very juiced to unfortunately see Western Conference Finals that we didn't get, which was Lakers Clippers. Like I was just juiced to see that they had split the head-to-head games, but now we get Lakers Denver, and I guess that's all right. I'm hoping that Denver can put up a fight. They have a lot of the good pieces. Jamal Murray's hot. Jokic is a beast down low when he wants to be. I could see them giving the Lakers some fits, but not in any type of way in which they're going to come out on top. Like I said, unless this is just, bro, sometimes there are things called destiny years. Like I told people, as much as people want to bitch about 2015 and saying Kyrie and Caleb, it's my reasoning behind saying I think that Warriors team would have beat the Cavs even with Kyrie and Caleb is I believe that was a destiny year. I don't believe there was anything that was going to do anything other than slow those Warriors down on their way to that championship. That team was running like a well-oiled motherfucking machine. And so I'm not saying it couldn't have happened. I'm just saying that's my reasoning behind not, because I believe there are certain teams in sports that are destined. They you just have everything break their fucking way for a single year. Philly a few years back, just everything broke their way, and they won the title. The Patriots the year they beat the Falcons, everything broke their way, so they won the title. And I just think that was just one of those years. I think that's one of those. That's what this year is for the Lakers. Like, unless the Heat turn out to be the spoilers, Ain't nobody stopping them from winning that title. Boston can give them some fits, but Boston ain't got nobody that's gonna match up with AD, and they damn sure ain't got nobody that's gonna slow down LeBron. They can play team defense and hope to, but that'll be about it. Hello.
Yeah, yeah. No, I
Oh,
agree with you,
yeah.
100%.
So it's just one, like I said, it's one of those destiny years. But next year you are correct 100%. Next year is gonna be it. Like next year's gonna be it. Like everybody come back healthy. Everybody, God willing, stay healthy. Give us the season that we deserve. Because with the Warriors coming back fully healthy, fucking, you got the Pelicans are starting to show themselves as a legit team. The Grizzlies, the fucking Blazers. You got all the teams that are in the playoffs this year, from Houston, OKC, L.A. Both L.A. teams. The West is gonna be so damn raw next year. It's not even funny. As long as every team stays healthy, which I know is a fucking impossibility. But as long as everybody stay healthy, next season should be one for the books, for the record books. You might see a Western Conference where we have 8 50-win teams that make the playoffs.
But remember, it's going to be a short season.
Are they
All
playing a
right?
short season for next year, or are they just going to play like half a season?
They're going to happen. They're going to finish out this year. The
Um,
draft is on the 18th. And then, you go preseason and, off season or whatever. They may not start until mid-January, the end of January.
all right.
So it's going to be short.
Yeah, I feel you, man. And that's the key thing to it, is that it's going to be. Now, while we're on the subject, let's go ahead and jump over to them Dubs, because they own the number 2 pick in the draft, and that's going to be fucking huge. They own the number 2 pick in the draft. It's looking like Myers is saying that unless a mega trade comes up, he's not moving the pick. Really, like they're looking at people. They have people that they have in mind that they like. Unfortunately, none of them are centers. So what I could also see the Warriors doing is moving back in the draft to pick up somebody that they like, one of the centers that they like, because they know they don't like Wiseman. So maybe letting somebody else who wants Wiseman trade up to the 2, move back a little bit in the draft and pick up an extra first round pick for next year. Because I think they already have 2 with Minnesota's next year. So yeah. So what are your thoughts on the Warriors and them having this number 2 pick?
And of course, you need to address the need, draft the best player available, or the player that best suits, what your needs are. So it really doesn't matter what they do. If they can keep it and draft someone good there, to come in immediately or come in later, they can trade back, pick up a few players. They can do any one number of things. But I think that they have a draft pick that high up and puts them in the driver's seat. So
Yeah,
they could almost do no wrong.
to an extent, yeah. And they already have a big 4 coming back, because I'm telling people, do not sleep on Andrew Wiggins. You heard me say it here before, and I'm gonna say it again. Do not sleep on Andrew Wiggins and that Warriors offense. I'm not saying this dude's going to be the biggest defensive, but I doubt he'll be a liability. Like, he's not going to be the biggest impact player on defense. That's most likely still going to hopefully be Clay if he comes back from this ACL with this extra rest time. But Wiggins will be stout enough on defense that they can depend on him, and he'll give them a good 19, 20 points a game on the offensive end. And so I still think, like I said, trading back, seeing if they can pick up an extra first round draft pick next year. Only thing I don't like about the Minnesota pick is it is top 3 protected. I hate protected picks. Your pick should be mine no matter what. But all right, top 3 protected. but pick up another first round draft pick, trade back, and pick up they. It's not Obi Toppin because they said he unless they want to move back to like 4 or 5, unless whoever's in 4 or 5 is desperate enough to give up a first round draft pick next year just to move up to 2. Then they could still get an Obi Toppin. Shit, they might even still be able to get a James Wiseman because the fact of the matter is that there's not a lot of people that are talking about Wiseman. And you know our fellow friend Mr. Swab over there, Steve, he seems to really like Wiseman at the number 2. Like he really wants the Warriors to take Wiseman at 2.
I mean, well, you talk about fit. He fits what they need.
Yep.
You know, long, 7 foot. You know, athletic. You can get up and down that floor. He's not going to slow you down like a Bogut or DeMarcus Cousins would. You know, you can play at that ultra fast paced tempo and get up shots comfortably. You know, if he's on the floor, he doesn't need the ball. He's not going to demand the ball. So Curry's getting his looks. Clay's getting his looks. You know, Wiggins is getting his looks. Everybody's still getting their looks, and it's a position that's going to allow him to develop. Which as long as he has, you know, the key things is being able to run the floor and rebound and defend the rim.
Yeah.
He can do that. He's fishing. Now, again, like you said, whether or not they draft him or they like him or whatever, that's on him. But he does fit them pretty good.
And I agree 100%. But they were also talking, like I said, they said there's this guy out of I think they said USC. That's a center that they like. That's not really expected to go top 5. Forget the kid's name. And that's why I was saying they could trade back and probably still pick up a guy like him and pick up an extra. Because think about it. Think about the type of trade or move you could make having 3 picks for next year's draft. You know what I'm saying? At the trade deadline.
You could do no wrong. Yeah,
3 first-round picks.
Pretty much do no wrong.
You know, because at this point, like, okay, here's where I agree with Abdul 100% when he says do no wrong. All right, look at this. The Warriors got a first-round draft pick top 5 this year. They've got a $17 million trade exemption that they got when they traded in Andre Iguodala to the Grizzlies. So that means they got $17 million that they can use on 1 or 2 players to fill in a bench. They also got $6 million on the veteran minimum thing. So literally, they could go out and pick themselves up a vet. I was thinking about this. They could go on ahead, like I said, trade back, trade down, get this kid Toppin that they like. I think his name is Toppin out of USC. He's either a small forward or a center. But get the kid that they want at center. Spend 10 of the 17 million. Go out and get somebody who's on the last leg of their career, like a Marc Gasol. There's been talk about the Warriors pursuing him. Have him play like Bogut type minutes. Because remember, Bogut only played like 12, 13 minutes a game. Bogut wasn't out there, except for the playoffs and the finals, Bogut really wasn't out there more than about 20 minutes. Gasol could give you 20 minutes. You know, and then you spend the other $6 million on another dude in free agency to back up, and another $6 million on another veteran. Then you bring in this young guy, you surround him with a bunch of older, talented guys who can really carry the load for him while he's learning. And then on top of that, you still got Steph, Clay, Wiggins, and Draymond to work with as your starters. People don't understand exactly how in how good of a, I've only team that I can say is set up better for the future than the Warriors are right now is Oklahoma City. And that's because between them trading Westbrook and trading Paul George, they have like 15 picks in the next 3 years. First round picks. So what are your thoughts on that, Dewey?
Well, like you said, you can pretty much do no wrong. I agree with you with Oklahoma City. They're going to have to move some of those picks. and bring in some veterans, but they're already pretty young as it is.
Yeah.
So I mean, what are they going to do with Chris Paul? Do they keep him?
Yeah.
Where's your veteran leadership? You know what I'm saying? Or do they move him
Yeah.
and go ahead and just get really young? Don't forget they just let Billy Donovan go,
Yeah.
and that's a heck of a coach and being a successful college coach the way he was, in the NBA.
Yeah.
If you're going to bring in young guys like that, because he knows how to manage those young egos, so they can do a lot of things. Golden State, like to see what they would do with that pick. Again, it really doesn't matter, but you're more interested in seeing what the returning players do. So
Yeah.
the draft is going to be interesting. Don't know how deep it's going to be. It's at the most awkward time of the year, and so yeah, we'll see what happens.
For sure. All right.
We'll basketball.
So let's get over to these Western Conference Finals and talk about this beatdown in school that the Lakers put on in Game One, making it look like they're about to make weak work of the Nuggets, who came in after an impressive run of winning uh, back to back 7-game series after coming back from down 3-1, first time in history. So
Yeah, they're good.
yeah,
They've done the impossible twice, but that's not how you want to play going into the final conference finals, whatever finals. You don't want to be coming back from, 3-1 deficit
yeah,
twice. This is a version of elimination twice. Well, it does you a good deal, mentally, in terms of psyche and knowing that you're always in the game and you never really truly out of the game. Yeah, that's huge.
yep,
There's also a lot of basketball, okay? And it's not just basketball, but it's intense, super highly competitive, high level basketball,
yeah,
right? That they just played. Or okay, let's go back to the Utah series. They were down 3-1.
yep,
So that's 3 games right there, right? That they have to play at an extremely high level.
yeah,
All right, and then now in 2 of those games, 2 of them went to overtime, right? One
right,
went to triple overtime, and then another one go like a double overtime,
yep,
right? And then not only that, but you got your workhorse. He's playing on another planet. You got Murray, but first he's got to outscore Spider. He's got to outscore Donovan Mitchell. And 50, he got to put up 55. And he got to put up another 50, and then a 44, and a 45. You know what I'm saying? Do you know how mentally draining that is? And we ain't even got to the Clippers. We haven't even got to the Clippers. All right, so you already tired going into that series, and it kind of showed, like in that game 1 and game 2, like Denver didn't wake up in that series until game 3 when they really smacked them in the mouth, until they really just stood up and really, because I think the Clippers were on easy street until Denver really responded and came out and jumped on them. So again, here you are in another series. You down 3-1. Now you have to play at that same. And don't get me wrong, it's good to play at that level, but do you know how intense, beyond playing 48 minutes, or however many minutes you get, and it's wearing you down, do you know the intense mental fatigue that takes, that you're undergoing during this time? Now you're going into you haven't even got you're not even in the finals yet. This isn't even to get to the finals. This is to get to the game, to the series that's going to get you to the. That's work.
yeah,
That's work. I want you to imagine yourself on your 40-hour-a-week job, going to work, you know what I'm saying, and putting in your 8 hours, right? And then putting in another 4 hours, you know what I'm saying, every single day
huh?
for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? You don't
Yep.
not a day off for 2 weeks, every single day.
Yep.
Grind. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take a toll. I think that showed in game one. And it's not that Denver, you know what I'm saying, they didn't look ready. They were ready, but they ended up running out of gas.
Yep.
You can only sustain that level of play so much for so long.
Before
Now,
your body catches up to you.
exactly. Now here's the good news: if they go down 3-1 to the Lakers, they actually might be in a good position. But it's going to take that work, and it's going to take that love that they came from, right?
Yep.
They can dig down there again. They can go back there and get it. But to have to do it again a third time, and then you go to the finals, that's a lot. That's a hell of a mountain to climb, man. That's a lot of basketball.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, like, I do not envy them. But I'll tell you this. If they somehow pull that off, bro, I don't think they ever will. I don't think they'll even come close. But if they did, bro, I don't know what I'd ever say. Like, I'd have to call Denver to comeback kids from now on. Like, even if they lose the finals, it's like, fuck, dude, how the fuck do you come back from three? First and foremost, how the fuck do you play so bad that you wind up in 3 consecutive 3-1 holes, and then play well enough those last 3 games to come out the victor in every round? Like, no, that's improbable. You're not supposed to.
At some
do
point,
that.
it has to stop.
Yep.
It has to stop. It's just
So-
insanity. It has to stop.
So who you got for the finals? I know you probably got the Lakers on the West Coast, on the Western. Who you got coming out of the East?
Yeah. The questions locked up. I go for the Lakers. Man, I couldn't tell you who's coming out the East, honestly.
Yeah.
Miami's not a lot, right?
Yeah.
And Boston's not out of it yet.
Yeah.
And then the way it looked last night in Game 3, it looked like Boston is really going to lose. They ready to go 7, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not that I really don't believe in either team
Yeah.
at this point, because you can't call it. You can say Miami, right? I mean, Boston go win the next 2. And then you can be like, okay, it's Boston, and then Miami come back and win the next 3. You know, so
Yeah.
you don't really, you don't really know, like, where this series is going to go.
Right.
You don't really know how it's going to play out. It's really going to be, you know, who's the better team. Again,
Yeah.
I said it. Boston is the best team, top and bottom.
Yep.
They're the best team in the Eastern Conference. But again, Miami, top to bottom, they are the most dangerous team in the Eastern Conference, and they're playing like it.
Yep.
So, you know, I can't tell you. It's going to be the Lakers and somebody, either Miami or Boston, one or the other. But at this point, I don't know. I'm not going to know until the end of Game 7. I'll put it to you like that.
Damn.
I won't know who the Lakers are going to face into the finals until Game 7 is over. Pretty
Well,
just like that.
Well, that we will have to wait and see. So we'll go on ahead and pause on that note, do some quick promo podcast, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more NFL with you. Let me see. You're listening to West Coast Bias right here on the 4 Aces Presents Radio Network, Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio. You can find us most places now. Don't forget also to catch Special Edition Now versus Then tonight. The Saint teeing it up. Let's see. See what the name of this one was. Sorry, don't have it off the top of my head, Saint. Relatively speaking, Jonah Melvin and Adisha. Saint bringing back 2 of his former guests to basically get an update, see where they at, and let you enjoy some new good music. So be sure to listen to that tonight. But right now, keep listening to West Coast Bias. We'll see you on the other side of the promo break.
So, what's up? Steve Fingerstyles here, the host of the podcast, spelled DA, of course. Tune in each and every week to hear what pisses me off, what angers me, what I make fun of, and of course, my crazy rants. I also have incompetent co-hosts, cool guests, and a silent producer that sucks. So what more do you need from a podcast? You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud, and the Pod Bros Network. Peace. So, what's up? Steve Fingers.
From the galactic depths of the comic book universe comes the ghosts of the stratosphere, ready to galvanize and energize your mind with the latest of comic book news and reviews. And why are you stopping me? Yes, that's much better. Hi, this is Andy Larson for Ghosts of the Stratosphere. Join me every week along with my co-hosts Rob Stewart and Chad Smith, as well as a cavalcade of fantastic comic book guests, as we dish out heaping helpings of the greatest and latest of comic book news and reviews. New shows posted every Tuesday with bonus shows every first Friday of the month. You can find us on iTunes and Stitcher under Ghosts of the Stratosphere, as well as on our website, www.gotstratosphere.com. Hope to see you soon, folks.
Hey listener, Dutch here from Voice from the Underground, the podcast. My co-host and I want to invite you to check out our little corner of the podcast verse. At Voice from the Underground, we talk about all the crazy happening around us and try to make a little bit of sense out of the nonsense with little to no results. If the idea of hearing three semi-intelligent, outspoken nerds talk about politics, social issues, current events, sports, movies, pretty much anything that we decide to talk about because, well, it's our show, appeals to you, grab your shovel and come on down to the underground, and then consult a qualified psychotherapist. Find us wherever you get your podcasts, just not where you buy your weed.
Voice from the Underground.
All right, and we are back. So we're here to talk some NFL action as the NFL season actually kicked off pretty much on time. And we actually even have fans in stadiums to a certain point. But there's been a lot of craziness going on through week one and now into week two. And I need you to tell me here, Doual, what team has surprised you the most and what team is pretty much right where you thought they would be 2 weeks into the season?
The team that surprised me the most probably be the Eagles.
Yeah.
Thought they were going to be better. I thought they might be, 1-1 at least, 2-0. They just lost today, and it wasn't good. It wasn't pretty. So, they're probably most of my surprise thing because I thought they were going to be better. And the team that I figured to be right about where they're at, I'm going to go with old places and say New England. They looked pretty good last week. They got a tough matchup tonight against Seattle. That still remains to be seen. But missing Brady, I don't think they're going to miss his step.
Yeah.
I having Cam Newton back there. And, he's going to give them what they need, and it's still Belichick and company, master of all game plans. So, yeah, I'm gonna say New England is going to be the team that is going to be about, you are expecting them to be.
All right. Now, for me, the surprise team through 2 weeks, I would say is the Arizona Cardinals. It's looking like they're about to go 2-0. Here they're up 27-9 in the fourth quarter. It's looking like they may go up 2-0 here in the season. And we all thought that Seattle was going to be a team to challenge the 49ers in the Western Conference, which, by the way, or in the Western Division, which, by the way, the 49ers, it may not be a good year. Like, if all these injuries are rest of the year, then we may be looking. Oh, Jimmy hurt did an ankle sprain. He may be out next week. Raheem Mostert may have a sprained MCL, which may keep him out for a few weeks. Nick Bosa may have a torn ACL, which may keep him out the rest of the season. But I think I'll say this, they've looked at Ziggy Ansah twice. So I think if Nick Bosa is done for the season, I think we'll see them bring in Ziggy Ansah. Ziggy Ansah knows the defensive line coordinator. He knows Robert Sala. So like I said, they didn't look at him twice and almost signed a contract with him. I think if Bosa's out for the year, they bring him in. But Bosa got hurt today. Solomon Thomas may have a CL tear that may a ligament tear that may keep him out at least a few weeks. So if all that is if all of that is any way long term, yeah, Super Bowl is a long stretch. Like they'll be lucky to make the playoffs, and I doubt they will. But
Okay?
we'll see.
So, we got to be ready. Everybody
Yeah.
got to be ready. So,
They kicked ass. They kicked ass without anybody tonight. So like
well, they
everybody
didn't
was.
play anybody today.
Yeah, true. True. Hey man. Hey, the
The
Jets put on
fans on
pads
the
like
team.
everybody else and attempt to play, but next week they got to cruise too. But I think that Mullins can go out there and hold the fort down for like 1 or 2 weeks till Garoppolo can get fully healthy again and get a couple of wins against two teams that have been playing like shit recently, which is the Giants and the Eagles are the Niners' next two opponents. So they could come out of
Yeah.
this getting a lot of good team back and still being like 3-1 going into 4-1. So like it's gonna be interesting. But my God, I've never seen a
Mhm.
team take this many hits since we used to play Madden on online back in the day. Like that was the last time I saw a team take this many hits and survive and still
Yep,
make it
yep,
somewhere.
yep.
Like you just don't see teams take this many hits. So, but we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. But yeah, but I would say my surprise team is Arizona. My right where I thought they would be is actually the Oakland, or sorry, my bad, still in me, the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders sitting at 1-0, looking to go to 2-0 tomorrow night against the Saints. Who knows? Are played pretty well against Carolina, whose defense is no slouch. You know, Derek Carr was out there shredding them, looking like his MVP year. Henry Ruggs toughed out an injury and ended up not really doing well. He only got me 8 points, but he I think he had like 80 or 60 some odd yards or so. And then Josh Jacobs looks like the beast that he was. He went for like 2 or 3 touchdowns and over 100 yards. So the Raiders are a team that if they're clicking on all three cylinders, on all cylinders, I believe they can be a threat in the AFC. I've always said that. But they always have something happen that they're off. They always have one bad cylinder. Hopefully this year they don't. We'll see what happens. But they would be my right where I expected them to be at 1-0, possibly 1-1 after this weekend, or even 2-0. So either way wouldn't surprise me. All right, so let's see. Oh, one more thing back on basketball that I meant to ask you about. Did you hear about the fact that Leandro Barbosa and Sean Livingston got hired with the Warriors for coaching in front office positions?
I mean, that's nice. That's what's up, man. That's nice.
You
It's
know, you
always,
bring,
cool. It's always going to be a spot open
yeah.
for player, but definitely.
And I like it because, like I said, Barbosa, I liked his grit when he played with the Warriors because he wasn't exactly at the peak of his career when he was helping lead that 2015 team, when he was helping lead the two squad of that 2015 team. He wasn't exactly at the peak of his career, but he gave it his all, and he has that heart. And so, I would love to see him coaching up these young guys and trying to help them get better. And then Sean Livingston never said the dude was dumb. He's got a brain on him, so why not put him in a front office position? So hopefully it'll help impact the Warriors in a positive way. We'll see what happens. Now, on to the subject I've been wanting to talk about and what we're going to close the show on. Let's go, Oakland. Let's go, Oakland. Houston can't cheat no more. Houston can't cheat no more. The Oakland A's officially clinched their playoff spot this week in this shortened season, and also should be wrapping up the division because last time I checked, they were up by like 7.5 games, but they were losing to the Giants today 4-0. Last time I checked, but they still win the Babe Ruth series 4-1. No, uh, but yeah, so like Oakland's in. What are your thoughts, man? Oakland, the Dodgers. Oh yeah, they're down 9-2 right now to the Giants.
Well, they got a good team and they work hard. And, historically, they're good. They're awesome. They play fantastic baseball for about half a season. So it was 50-50 for me. Either they
Uh-huh.
were going to be really, really good or really, really bad. And they ended up being really good. Now, congratulations.
For sure, for sure. Well, the Giants ain't well, yeah. Sorry, I was gonna say they ain't that far behind San Diego, but San Diego kind of came out of nowhere. Like knew that the Padres are gonna be that damn good this year? I know I didn't.
And I surprised a lot of people. They're really good, but they're really young.
Yeah,
A lot of young, but they put together a pretty good team when you look at it. So, I like San Diego. I like them a lot more than I like the Dodgers.
yeah,
But I mean, with the new format, right? Don't you get the first place team and the second place team, and then two wild cards or something like that, or
yeah. It's gonna be
one
eight
wild
teams that
card,
get in. Yeah, 8 teams total. It's gonna be the first and second place
18,
teams from each division, and then two wild cards.
and then two wild cards. So from what I understand, that the Giants might be on the outside looking in that wild card, that second wild card spot, maybe. So the possibility is there, and once you get in, anything's possible. But it's been a 50-50 season for them. They played okay. When the pitching wasn't there, the bats have actually been solid this year. It's just been about shoring up that pitching, and once that happened, they put together some solid, 6 game, 7 game win streaks, and they don't look too bad. So
Yeah, there's a lot to be
the
happy
fact
about.
that it's a short, I actually wish they had more time. They just a little bit more. It looks like they're just now really starting to hit a good stride
Yeah,
and a good rhythm, just in terms of winning games, not winning every game, but winning every series and so on and so forth. So I like their chances at maybe that second shot, but it's only how many games left? How many weeks?
oh, less than 10.
Two, 1, 2,
Like less than
less than
10.
10.
October 6th starts the playoffs. And there's less than 10 games
Yeah,
left. So like we're looking at like less than 14 days left in the season.
yeah. So
So,
it's a long shot, but again, anything's possible. As long as they work themselves up into a position to be within striking distance, and you gotta kind of be happy.
yep, there's something to be happy about. Shoot. All right, so just a couple quick rapid fire ones. Quick thoughts on Pac-12 saying they might start football next year, doing spring football and play their season. And they're talking about potentially, or no, starting in November. Sorry, and playing an 8 game season and trying to get their people into the NCAA football playoff.
If it's not professional, that needs to be done. And that's just my opinion.
All
In
right.
college sports, it's not something we should be playing right now. So everything should wait until next year when all seasons can kick off.
On time.
Officially have not on time, but it's all about the dollars. So
Yeah, it is. All right. Real quick thoughts on Houston's struggles in the playoff.
they're not big enough. They
Fair enough.
traded what is it, center? I forget his name.
Capella.
Earlier this year, who?
Capella.
Yeah, Clint
Yeah.
Capella. Thank you. And it shows like how much they needed him.
Yeah.
They weren't using him correctly to begin with. They never really took advantage of his offensive game. I know it's limited, but what he can do is he can feed him the ball a few times a game, and he'll go get you back. He was capable of doing that, wasn't getting those offensive looks. They relied on him to defend the basket. They relied on him to block shots and rebound. And I don't think that was a good situation for him,
Yeah.
right? Like him not being used properly and effectively. And then by them trading him and getting smaller, I mean, it fits D'Antoni's system and what he likes to do in terms of being up and down and, playing fast pace. And when you got, guys like Harden and Westbrook who can dominate a game one on one, that's cool. But this playoff basketball is different. You
Yeah.
have to be able to rebound the ball. You have to be able to defend the paint. The Rockets can do neither. They can dominate you on the perimeter. They can dominate you running up and down the floor. In the half court, on the rebounding, on the glass, defensively, they weren't able to do it.
They left wanting. All right, and then
And
last
and,
thought.
and not only that,
Go ahead.
one
No.
more thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Not
go
only
for
that,
it.
but the signature of a Mike D'Antoni coach too is a team that will shoot itself out of the playoffs, and that is something that they shot themselves out of the playoffs. You're not going to throw up 103 pointers, make 20, make 30, and expect to win a game. Now the team has got 50, 60, 2-point baskets, and then they can add that to the team. You know what I'm saying? 3-point baskets.
Yeah.
Not enough.
It's just not enough for sure. All right, so last thoughts for the night. We got Seahawks, Patriots tonight, Raiders, Saints tomorrow. Which game would you recommend for the people to watch more?
Who are the choices?
Seahawks and Patriots tonight, and Raiders, Saints tomorrow night.
I would say Patriots and Seahawks tonight because it's going to be a good game. Oakland is getting better, but New Orleans is good, so you're expecting New Orleans to kind of put away with them. But I'm also expecting that Seattle New England game to be actually a good game, a competitive game for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
And not that Oakland and New Orleans wouldn't, but we know which way that game is going.
Yep. All right. So there you go. Recommended by Doual. So, all right, y'all. So that'll do it for this week. We'll be back next month, hopefully with O'Malley. We'll find out what happened to her. Be on the hunt for her. O'Malley, where are you? But that'll do it for us for this week. I want to say thank you for listening in. It's been our pleasure to talk sports for you. And I'm pretty sure some of y'all might be yelling at your thing, telling us we dumb. That's fine. I suggest you jump in the comment section and tell us that, and then we can have a discussion about it, and you'll find out you're wrong. Anyway, this is myself, K double, and the Doual signing off. Doual, any last words for him?
Good night, people.